welcome to my channel. Hey y'all, I'm back. It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. What's up, y'all? It's me, Rhonda. What's up, y'all? Self-help, y'all. That's where we're gonna start today. Um, I think there's like a lot of different versions of self-help, and I think it's always a good idea for us to use different tools. You know what I'm saying? This internet out here has everything you can imagine. So if the tools are there for us to use, I think we should go ahead and take advantage of them. Um, so this is how, this version of self-help looks like, I guess you would say. How do you stop time? You stop time with a kiss. I never thought about it that way. Have you ever thought about it that way? Because I feel like it's actually kind of true. If it's the right kiss, like this does not apply to all kisses. So if you out here just random kissing or, kissing somebody that, you ain't really feeling for whatever reason. But I think it's important to remember that you can stop time with a kiss, especially in relationships. I think in relationships, these moments, maybe fade away and maybe part of the reason why relationships don't necessarily last. Good morning, Motown investor. Welcome to Coffee Talk, where we spend some time over here discussing Black history, Black excellence, current events, and a little bit of celebrity gossip. So, yeah, that's what we're going to get in today. We're talking about self help and many different ways. And how do you stop time with a kiss? And I do a lot of relationship shows over here. So for me, I was like, maybe when the I don't know want to necessarily say when the love fades, but when the passion fades, are you still kissing your partner? Are you still taking that moment to stop time and kind of pause? Good morning. When I don't see you often, welcome to the chat, first of all. But when I don't see you often, it takes me a minute. Marlon 6245. I'm going to drop the number because my tongue doesn't always cooperate with my brain. So, Marlon, if I'm pronouncing that right, I will give you a nickname and just call you Mari if I find it difficult. So you let me know if that's okay. Is Marlon the right pronunciation? And can I call you Marley? We over here having coffee talk. The kiss. That's where we at, Marley. We talking about self-help and how to do things. And this is like, it's not about the other person necessarily. It's about yourself and what you do to make yourself feel better. So in relationships, are you still kissing? And I don't mean kissing like a robotic kiss. You know what I'm saying? A kiss that is something that's just like brushing your teeth. And you're like, bye, honey, kiss, 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 kiss. Whatever your rhythm is. 2 kisses, 3 kisses, 1 kiss is goodbye. You know what I mean? Not that, because I feel like that becomes very mechanical and it lacks emotion. Remember the first time you kissed your person, and you can think about how it stopped time. So focus on your kisses. Like if you got a person in your life and you're not taking them for granted, and this isn't something I feel like happens on a daily, but if you're in a place in your relationship where things are cloudy or uncertain, maybe start with a kiss and see if you can stop time and regenerate maybe the passion that might be gone. How do you travel in time? Read. This is so absolutely true. When I saw this, I thought immediately about Dean Koontz, an author that I used to read, years ago. I haven't read lately, and I mean, like, we read every day, but I'm talking about sit down, enjoy a book, a hardcover book, all the way back to that place, not on your phone where you're scrolling. I personally want to get away from those types of things and only be here when I have to. Get a book. It's time for me to take a staycation. I can do that here with ease, thankfully. So I feel like it's time for me to take a staycation, right here in my city. I want a resort day where I can just spend the night somewhere and luxuriate and, come home the next day. Nothing like so out of the, ordinary, but I can go by myself on a staycation and take a book and really focus on going somewhere in a different time, in a different place. And books really do that. I know, like, when I would read Dean Koontz books, it was like I was there. The way, things were described, the environment you're in, and, you know, um, it makes you feel like you're part of the story. I feel like that's why a lot of times when we see the movie, we're disappointed. When we see the movie that's made from a book we read, I think when we see the movie, we're disappointed a lot of the times, um, because our interpretations are different. And if you read a book and you interpret something, in your head, your vision, what you see, this place that you've traveled to, um, I feel like when you see it in a movie, you're like, that ain't how I saw it. So that's what I really liked about Dean Koontz, is because the description of the environment, that's a really good, important part of the story. I know when I'm watching movies, I'm always like, where they at before we get started? Whatever this person is doing, driving around town, walking through the woods, I'm always like, where are they at? And so I look at the trees and I look at the grass and I look at the way the houses are built and I try to figure out. You really don't get it until, somebody says it, or you catch a license tag, or usually if there's a police car, it'll say the name of the town on the side. And so for me, it's hard for me to focus on the movie without knowing where the people are at. It just gives you a sense of, the environment. Um, yeah, I feel like, that's why reading is so important, because I feel like it strengthens your mind. And I'm not an ebook person, although there are some ebooks that I want to get, just because I think autobiographies and biographies are probably really good with ebooks, because you're hearing the voice of the person and it does something different. But just to escape to a different time and a different place, I think it's important to read like a regular book. The nostalgia of it all, how to escape in time, music, if that ain't the truth. And I start my morning that way. And you can make your playlist, from the 60s, from the 70s, from the 80s, from the 90s, what era of music, what vibe you want to get to. You could definitely escape in time with music. Music soothes the soul. And I feel like the kind of music that you listen to, definitely has some type of control over your emotion. I feel like, I know my kids used to listen to System of a Down, and I have listened to some of it. And when really need to get in and get gritty, I might turn it back on, just for nostalgia's sake. But um I used to, my son would be in the shower and I was like, who are you listening to, Satan? What is happening right now? So yeah, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on in his mind, child. Um, it would be interesting to know like what type of music. This is way off subject, but we know we got some crazy people running around. I've seen, on my feed, on my TikTok feed, I've seen all kinds of angry folks, traffic, road raged, Karens running around, banging on people's car windows and stuff. I hope I don't ever encounter that. But I'm like, what was you listening to in that car that got you that revved up? Have y'all seen the video of the man, coming up on somebody in a Target parking lot? And the man's like, what the hell was that? Yes, what was that? And then there's a woman, you about to get in the car with this nigga? I can imagine what the home life is like over there. So music soothes the soul. Listen to something that's going, help. Because this is about self-help. And so if you angry, find you something to listen to that's going, bring it on down. Like my girl Candy said. How to release time. Breathe. Hmm. Did you know that um part of the addiction is smoking, is the breathing? And be messing up your breathing patterns with all that tired nicotine. Now your lungs and stuff is getting corroded and you can't breathe properly. Breathing is definitely a way to release. That's why they make you do it when you're delivering a baby. Or maybe hell, breathe, child. I don't know what else to tell you. Yeah, I like this. I feel like I want a little like maybe I'll put it on my Pinterest. A little section in my Pinterest where I can go back to these things and remind myself because we can read it here today and then forget about it. Forget about it. So yes, self-help, y'all. What do y'all do for self-help? Do you do any of these things? Like I said, for myself, okay, we're 6 months in. We have reached the 6 month mark in this year. Where are you at? Have you checked any of the things off your list? I feel like I have definitely checked some things off my list. I might be a little bit behind schedule, but yeah, we at the 6 months mark. So how we gonna manage through the rest of the year? We know we got to do our research on these politicians, child, in everybody's district. We got to get over here and at least do our due diligence. It's a revolution, and you got to figure out, where you fit in terms of the revolution. I like to switch it up. Me myself personally, who used to say that? That was on one of those, like Good Times or something. One of those characters kept saying, "Me myself personally." Me myself personally, I like to switch it up. I don't like to be complacent. I feel like complacency um it leads to boredom. Then I don't want to be here and y'all don't want to be here. And so we don't want that. We don't want to not want to be here. We want more people to come over here so we can get into this conversation. It's very important for us to commune with one another so we know where the like-minded people are. Um, I don't mind having, because I'm still talking about my self help. I don't mind having a different opinion than mine because I think it's not healthy to be living in a space where you're only listening to your own point of view. You have to, maybe see it from a different perspective. But if you're gonna be adversarial and just want to argue, we can't argue with you. We want like-minded people that want to come over here and have discussions. And when we leave from over here, we feel like we walked away with more knowledge than we had when we got here. So there's that. So in the spirit of switching it up, I'm going to go ahead and do this. What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. We over here on Coffee Talk. That's where we come over here and we discuss things that are Black excellence, Black history, a little bit of current events, and yeah, a little bit of celebrity gossip. Y'all like the video, subscribe to my channel, and let's go ahead and get into the things that are the things I've been, running my mouth long enough. So I don't know, like last time I was frozen. So I will not remove myself from the screen. But the last time I did this, I was sitting here frozen and I looked a fool. So, I might just, click out if necessary. But let's go. Where are we gonna start? Come on, Byron. Byron's back. Byron Allen is back. I'm gonna read it from my phone because, because of the challenges I have with my eyesight and such. And I feel like maybe I can do better if I'm looking at it on my phone. But Byron is back. Media mogul Byron Allen says he wants to buy Stars after snagging BuzzFeed in a $120 million deal. Media mogul Byron Allen says he's nowhere near done expanding his empire. Just 8 days after locking in reported $120 million deal to acquire the controlling stake in BuzzFeed, Allen revealed that Stars may be next on his wish list. An interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Allen made it clear he's serious about eventually taking over the premium cable streaming company. That's kind of dope, I feel like. Listen, Allen already owns roughly 11% of Stars. I did not know that. Byron Allen be back here like making wheels and deals and you know, I love to see it. Look at that picture. I like that picture. He looks very distinguished in this picture. I don't know if that's AI or whatever that is, but anyway, um, Allen already owns roughly 11% of Stars, reportedly making him one of the company's biggest shareholders. But according to reports, he believes resistance from the company could actually push him to go even harder. How does that work, Byron? I think it would be so dope to have a conversation with him. I want to get invited to a dinner party where Byron Allen is at the table. You know what I'm saying? I want to get invited to a dinner party where Byron Allen is at the head of the table, just discussing things. And I don't have to say nothing. I could just sit there and take in, what it is the man is saying. If y'all, are friends with Byron Allen and you've been invited to a dinner party, I'm looking for a plus one over there. Anyway, according to the report, he believes resistance from the company is going to push him to go even harder. They may resist, Allen said. If they resist, that may force me to buy the whole company. Stand on your business, Byron. The entrepreneur also explained that his long-term vision involves controlling both ad-supported streams and subscription-based platforms. I want to AVOD and SVOD, Allen reportedly said, referencing the two dominant streaming business models. And then, well, it's probably here in the story. Let me keep reading. The committee arrives amid Allen's massive BuzzFeed acquisition, which reportedly makes him CEO and chairman of the digital media company once the deal closes later this month. BuzzFeed founder Jonah Peretti is expected to transition into a new AI-focused role with the company. That's what I was going to say. I think that's so smart. Like he went over there and he, bought the company, but he has the person who founded the company in a particular position. And AI is definitely like, we often discuss over here when you're talking about the next generation and what they're going to study. I think AI is probably going to be an avenue, where back in the day, it still falls under the technology umbrella, I suppose. Anyway, I think it's cool that he did. The founder of the company is still a part. He doesn't have full ownership, and yeah, I'm trying to get to that dinner party so I can see what all this is about. Allen's media empire already includes the Weather Channel, dozens of television stations, and syndicated programming. Now, with BuzzFeed under his umbrella and Stars potentially in his sight, the longtime businessman appears focused on becoming an even bigger force across television, streaming, and digital media. I'm here for that. You know how I feel about that. I'm definitely here for it. Um, Good luck, Byron. Yeah, Pac. I wonder, but we have to like support, the streaming channels, the Weather Channel. I don't have that necessarily. I got my local weather app, but let me look into it because if I could use theirs, I could use his. It's gonna take supporting the platforms that he owns because we know, the media has been, pretty much snatched away when you talk about the huge acquisitions like Paramount and Disney Plus and all of these big, media companies, the people that went and I'm calling them people, the MAGA Klansmen that went and bought TikTok and, various different media outlets. Yeah, I want to see Byron do the thing and, stay in the game because I feel like the black voice is definitely being removed. I've seen Byron Allen over there on the Breakfast Club, within our spaces. So, and that's a good interview. If you haven't seen it, it's old at this point, but yeah, he was talking about it then, and because he had a big old fight with the cable companies back in the day, trying to get things done. So yeah, shout out to Byron Allen. I love to hear that. This is an interesting little story for all of you that are still out here like purchasing things via what do you call it, Amazon. This young lady, I'll be calling everybody a young lady. Unique Jones Gibson, founder and CEO of I wanted to make sure I put it over here. Founder and CEO launched Black-owned Big Ups diapers and wipes brand, expanding into major retail nationwide. That's a big deal, especially like if this is your brand. I think this is something that we don't necessarily think about when you're talking about businesses. She's a mom. She's, when you get the diapers, they got all kinds of little decorations and things on them. So I'm guessing she's going to do something that's just more focused on not teaching me how to Dougie. I didn't know there was a video on music to it. I was just trying to read the article, y'all. Now I don't want to Dougie. But yeah, when you're thinking of businesses, I don't think we necessarily think about that type of thing. She's clearly probably a mom and was like, hey, maybe I should own a diaper business. Hell, we gonna keep on needing diapers. The diaper business sounds about as lucrative as funeral business. Like we're gonna need diapers. You know what I'm saying? So when you're thinking about where you spending your black dollars, this might be one of them. You can get the lady's product over here on Amazon, and now she's going in national stores. So if you got to go in Walmart, if you got to go in Target, because I think it's impossible at this point in a lot of places, I still have to go to Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a grocery store over here. And if I'm going to Publix, child, I'm paying, double the money for no good reason. I do go to Publix on their buy one, get one. You know what I'm saying? But that being said, like Sundays, Saturdays, maybe, it would be worth the while to take a trip over to the farmers market where you can buy direct from farmers. So we have to incorporate all of it. I'm on a tangent. Unique Jones Gibson built Big Ups, a Black-owned diaper and wipes brand created to celebrate and center Black babies with inclusive design. I mean, that's okay. I will say, if she sticks to things like teddy bears and you know what I'm saying, things that are baby related, then she will, make a lot more money. Because I feel like non-melanated people redirect themselves when it comes to being black owned. So yeah, obviously it's black owned here, but I would feel like that's a cute idea, maybe like during the designated months like June and such. But if you're gonna play the long game, you need to make sure that it's inclusive so you can get your money from everywhere, and then you can grow into the next thing. Anyway, it says 40 months after the launch, the brand is now expanding into major retail locations nationwide. Black women entrepreneurs are building legacy brands that serve families and generational wealth. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the generational wealth. So we're going to go over here and look at her website, you know what I'm saying, so we can see what's going on. It's babies in this house for sure. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to just grab some daggone diapers, run over here. I don't Amazon, but I'll come over here for this. So here's our website. 50 diapers for $22. That sounds about right. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not it's comparable in pricing. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna go over here and be like, woohoo. She does have all the babies. And see, like her market, her branding, her boxes have various, different babies, and that's what I was talking about. Love that, love that. Shop, training pants, diapers, wipes, goodies. Let's see the wipes. How much are the wipes? Did I push the wrong thing? Okay, there we go. Oh, she's got cute little stuff sold out. It's time to refresh those things, girl. You go over here on the internet, we don't need to restock. The blanket is cute. Like when you're looking at what do you call it? Even if you have a baby shower things coming up, this will be cute little place to go to. You know what I'm saying? To get some of that's goodies. I ain't gonna spend too much time over here. I just wanted to see like what the prices look like The website itself is fairly easy to navigate. She out of stock. Girl, you better stock it back up. I done came over here to talk about your product and everything is out of stock. I don't want to go here, but um seemingly we not always prepared. That's what I'm gonna say. I hate it. And then now it's not there. So now the people are gonna go right back where we were. And then they're gonna say, hey, every time I come over here, these things are not in stock. So, big ups. Got this article. I hope she gets her big up. This is one of the things that Stormy had to deal with. Stormy, talk to the big up lady. Because, somebody called Stormy. And so maybe she can help the big up lady, you know, figure this glitch out, because that's what we're going to call it. Stormy still had these kind of glitches. I think a lot of people do. Maybe she's not so focused on her Amazon website because she's going to be in these national big box stores. And, I don't know the details of it, but I do know these restocking issues are a big deal with when small companies transition. So I'm not going to call her out because I think, it's important to be spending our Black dollars in places where, they're Black owned business. I'll be checking back, girl, and see if and got your stock together. Have me over here. I'm talking about it because that's my duty. Now the rest is on you, for goodness sakes. What else is going on over here? Another scientist. These stories are so weird to me. Um, I don't know why people go to places to work like Lockheed Martin and stuff where where everything is top secret, and then when you do all the work, then your ass is missing. So speaking of missing, have we heard anything about Savannah Gundry's mama? She's still no word on that. We just was talking about it day after day after day, and Savannah and the whole family was being interviewed in the police, and then they just stopped talking. So we don't know. Apparently, I mean, surely she hasn't been found. We don't know anything about it. I don't. How long has it been? I don't know how long it's been, but this lady has been missing for a year. So, a missing New Mexico woman connected to one of the nation's most sensitive nuclear research facilities has been found dead nearly a year after she disappeared, and the case is raising even more questions. According to the report, 54-year-old Melissa Casillas was found in a remote area of Carson National Forest after a hiker discovered her remains. Casillas worked. Hiking is so weird. I mean, it's not weird when you want to get one with nature, but honey, I go on walks here in regular old Florida, and you got to be careful of what might be coming out of the bushes. And I'm not talking about Florida, man. I'm talking about, especially like there's a lot of construction going on in my area. When there's a lot of construction going on and they be pushing the animals out of their, habitat, you end up, with a moose in your backyard. We don't have moose down here. Anyway, according to reports, 54-year-old Melissa Casillas was found in a remote area of Carson National Forest after a hiker discovered her remains. Casillas worked at Los Alamos National Laboratory, the facility known for its role in developing and maintaining the nation's nuclear weapons program. Authorities say she was last seen in June 2025, and her disappearance has remained a mystery ever since. Several details surrounding the case have fueled online speculation. Family members reportedly said Casillas had been acting unusual in days before she vanished, probably because she knew they was coming for her. She was probably scared. Reports also claim she left behind her identification, while both her personal and work phones were allegedly factory reset before her disappearance. What you mean allegedly? That's probably what had happened. Like, what is the other explanation? Anyway, wiping any record that could have helped investigators retrace her final movements. Okay, allegedly. A handgun was reportedly found near her remains, but authorities have not determined her cause of death and have not announced whether the weapon belonged to her. Well, when is they going to announce it, child? The case has drawn even more attention because Cassius is reportedly one of several people connected to Los Alamos National Laboratory, Sandia National Laboratories, or other defense-related work who've disappeared or died under unusual circumstances in recent years. And we got a war going on? Okay. While investigators have not linked the case and have not suggested any foul play beyond what's been publicly released, the similarities have fueled conspiracies online. What do you mean foul play? The lady left her house with no identification up and to go hiking. I take my identification on me, when I go on a walk. So that just doesn't make sense. And both her phones got wiped, allegedly. How scared are you to touch the reset button on your phone? And you'd be like, because do I need to make sure things aren't going to go missing after I do that? So both of her phones was wiped? No foul play? It sounds foul to me. Many social media users have questioned whether there could be a connection between the disappearance and the sensitive work performed at the facilities. For now, officials say the investigation remains active as they continue working to determine exactly what happened to Cassius. We won't hear no more about it. We probably won't hear no more about it. They found her. We won't probably get no updates on this. They're going to let this one just disappear the same way they did with Savannah Guthrie's mother. And here's all these scientists that are connected to this situation. Carl Grillmar, scientist working on infrared telescopes, dead. Gilliam worked for a plant with water. Wait, what? Gilliam's work found a planet with water. Oh, okay. So if they know about a planet with water, they're just going move over there and use all these data centers to suck the water off the earth. Anyway, he's gone. Michael David Hicks, NASA research scientist, worked on deflecting asteroids from Earth. What the hell? How you do that? Feels like we need him, but he's gone, dead. Monica Jacinto Reza, she's missing, haven't found herself. But she received funding at the AFRL Wright Patterson, AFB. That's the company, oversaw funding for Reza's project. That means she still got some work to do. She's missing, but they might probably got her check them detention centers, child. William Nell McCaslin, he's missing. He's also connected to these companies. It says he oversaw research and database and oversaw funding on Reza's project. So he got something to do with the money. So yeah, he probably dead. What's her name? I can't see her name. Operations analyst officer at the base. These people all are connected to the same company. That's wild. Anyway, I don't know what to say about it. I'm sure the families are very concerned, obviously, with their loved one missing. But I feel like there's a little bit of understanding when you take these types of jobs. Being a scientist, it goes all the way back to the beginning. The knowledge over there on the tree. When dumb people run the country, smart people make them nervous. And then what are we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? What are we gonna do with the hands of our destiny being controlled by this administration, child? This is what they're doing over here. Now, we don't have any scientists, and this is what they're doing. Who's gonna be running this project? Google. What does Google have to do with it? That was the big thing. I'm like, Google? I thought we were over here doing internet things. Google wants to release 32 million mosquitoes into California and Florida. No, why here? Don't we have enough problems in Florida? Now y'all want to release millions of mosquitoes? Google's verified verily Google's Verily Debug project filed for EPA approval. We can't trust the EPA no more. Oh my God. When is this supposed to take place? Just when I thought I didn't have another thing to worry about, this was one came out of nowhere. I didn't see this on my list of things to do, child. Google's Verily Debug project just filed for EPA approval to unleash up to 32 million specially engineered male mosquitoes across parts of California and Florida over the next 2 years. Oh, dear Jesus. Last time they did that, we ended up with love bugs. And thankfully, they're not like mosquitoes and don't spread disease, but they will, rot the paint off your car, and you could find yourself standing at a gas pump and in the middle of a swarm of love bugs that wants to stick to you. These aren't normal bugs. They're lab-bred males infected with Wolbachia bacteria. When they mate with wild females, the eggs don't hatch. Population crash. No chemicals needed. I need to hear the disclaimer. I need to hear the part, like, the part where you hear on television and they're like, yeah, I want to hear that part. Like, so why just California and Florida? That's so weird. I don't want to even say send it to nowhere else because that sounds bad. Like, what kind of experiment is this? And I mean, is it okay? Like, I hate mosquitoes. Mosquitoes spread disease. So on one hand, I'm like, okay, I can see males don't bite or spread disease. Targets Degua, Zika, West Nile, and more. Similar trials already ran successfully in Fresno and Florida. They said already ran. So they've been doing this already. 32 million is scary. And the worst thing I could think of is, what can go wrong? A lot can go wrong because I don't trust these niggas. And the FDA, it used to be a trustworthy source, I suppose, but was it? FDA been bought. It been bought and sold. So, any billionaire project they got running behind the scenes, the FDA is gonna prove it. I feel like they just sent them niggas their own stamp. Stamp your own shit. Anyway, I wonder how Bubba and Ellie Mae them gonna feel when they find out they not getting their money. Because Trump has said that, these people that wanted to go put people's lives in danger, threaten the lives of, government officials, climb up the side of the wall of the government building. He's dropping his plan. He had told these people they was about to give some reparations. Trump reportedly dropping his plan to give a $1.8 billion in reparations to the January 6th rioters. They gonna be mad. Probably not mad enough. Because they forgive this man for anything. And it's because they be over there touching kids. It's like the weirdos that touch kids took over. Here we are. Trump's slush fund is no longer happening, according to AOC. First of all, Trump just be saying shit. He just out here saying whatever the hell he wants to say. You know what I'm saying? And the people be like, he tried, but the Democrats shut it down. That's how that story is going to play out. They'll say the Democrats took our money, because that's the way they hear things. He tried. He says stuff that he knows good and damn well ain't going to happen. And they, fall for it every time. You ever have some lottery money in your head and you be spending it? You ever buy a lottery ticket and then, you know what I'm saying? Once you got that lottery ticket in your hand, you ain't even heard the numbers yet being called. You don't even know what the winning ticket is. But in your head, you're like, if I win this money, you know what I'm saying? And you already spent half of it. It don't even exist. Just like this money over here don't exist. Trump got to push back from Republicans on this issue? I'm sure he did, because all Republicans are not MAGA, but they're all caught up in there some kind of way. However, that's how they're gonna, that's how they're gonna tell the story. They're not going to tell the part about the Republicans that pushed back on it. They're just going to say the Democrats messed it up for us. We were about to get a check and now we're not. It says Trump slush fund is no longer happening, according to Axios reporter Mark Caputo. Trump is expected to drop his proposed 1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund. What does that even mean? Which was created after his administration settled a lawsuit involving the IRS. The fund was intended to provide compensation to the individuals who claimed they were unfairly targeted by the government. This would include January 6 rioters, high-profile Trump allies, and political organizations. The proposal sparked backlash from both Democrats and Republicans, with critics arguing that January 6 defendants who assaulted police officers could benefit from the fund. And I feel like some of them officers have countersued, and they might get their money because their lives was put in danger. That would be so dope if the people on the inside of the officers trying to protect the damn Capitol, if they all got a check, that they deserve one if they do. So let's hope for that. Former President Mike Pence urged Trump to abandon the proposal, saying, "Let's get rid of this fund." Mike Pence still talking? He's the reason, part of the reason, Mike Pence. So whatever you got to say, I didn't like watching Mike Pence get chased down. What's up, T? I did not like watching Mike Pence get chased down in the Capitol. You know what I'm saying? I was like, they is chasing this old man down. What's going to happen if they catch him? I didn't like that. But Mike Pence, shut the fuck up. Like I said, I feel like you were part of this problem in the first damn place. Let's get rid of this fund. I mean, it's deeply offensive to me that you could have a fund that could even possibly compensate people who assaulted police officers or vandalized the Capitol on January 6th. And I think that's broadly held by most Republicans and most Americans. Yeah, duh. The reported reversal comes after a federal judge ordered the Justice Department not to move forward with the fund while legal challenges continue. I think Trump don't care. Whatever, he thought he was doing, like I said, he just put that, what do they call it? Dog whistle. He just put that dog whistle out there so he could be like, I tried, y'all. I tried to get it for y'all. They took it away. They were ready to string. It was really uncomfortable to watch, Pac. And like I said, I don't even like that man. But I was like, oh no, it's a wonder he didn't have a heart attack. Good morning, Elstead. No notification today. They be tripping, child. But and I'm here, and y'all are here. JD better watch how Trump turned against Pence. I don't know. I low-key feel like because JD is being backed by Peter Thiel, I feel like JD is making backroom moves. You know what I'm saying? JD is making moves to become the president before the election, before the end of this term, I feel like. It's all these, failed attempts. When the failed attempts happened, they rushed JD out first, didn't they? Didn't they rush him out first over there down to the hotel at the correspondence dinner? He was out. Old man was still sitting at the table. So, I guess they need to watch each other's back. But JD is being puppeted by Peter Thiel, who has other weird ideas about things. JD got to explain his wig wearing days and all his changes in religion over the years. I mean, not if they don't have to explain their years on the island of touching children. So, Ain't nobody over there explaining anything. Don't seem like. I hate it here. Now I got to worry about some robot mosquitoes. We're gonna be like, what the hell just bit me? That's where we live in over here in Florida and California. This was funny to me because of all the things for them to be working on, uh Apple iPhone people, of all the things for me, it's somebody's men in a conference room. This is what happened when you fire all the women. The men sit around and come up with stupid ass ideas. Apple is reportedly working on a new iPhone phone feature that could lock your phone the moment that it's snatched. And so you got a picture of this woman snatching this man's phone, but this conversation is supposedly about, thefts of people. According to 9 to 5 Mac, the feature was discovered in Apple code and appears designed to protect users in the moments after a phone is stolen while still unlocked. That matters because many iPhone security tools work best after the device is already locked. But a thief who grabs the unlocked phone may still have a short window to access apps, messages, passwords, or financial information. Okay. Got the phone, like, I feel like everything requires me to do facial recognition. You know what I'm saying? When you start trying to get to people's passwords and stuff, then the facial recognition feature pops in. So, and who are the messages? Why would a thief want to have access to your messages? You messaging your kids. Did you lock the door? Did you forget your lunch? Those are the kind of messages you want. The reported feature would use the iPhone's built-in motion sensor, including the accelerometer and gyroscope. This sounds made up. To detect sudden movements that looks like a snatching incident. McRumors really also reported that the system may use a paired Apple Watch to help determine whether the phone has suddenly moved away from the owner's wrist. I don't have an Apple Watch. I have an Apple phone. Well, we just gonna be locked out of our own phone. Mine ain't brand new, so mine is on that "we gonna make your shit move slow" feature because I don't go run out and get the newest iPhone. Yeah, we gonna be locked out of our phone. Your left hand goes snatching and your right hand gonna be like, call the police. The feature will reportedly work alongside Apple's existing stolen device protection, which adds extra security requirements for sensitive actions like changing Apple ID settings or accessing stored passwords. Apple introduced stolen device protection to reduce damage from theft, but this rumored upgrade would focus on locking the phone faster in the exact moment it's taken. I think this is only effective for situations like the one we see where this wife is snatching this man's phone because he was over here texting the big booty lady that lived down the street. Apple has not officially announced the feature yet, so it should be treated as something in development rather than something guaranteed for the next iOS update. This is going to cost you another thou wow. This is the way they're going to be like, yeah, the price is $1,000 more because it got the snatch feature now. Reports from multiple Apple-focused outlets suggest the company is actively testing ways to make stolen phones harder to use immediately after being grabbed. Are people out here grabbing the phones like that? Everybody got a phone. Everybody has a phone. Are people out here snatching phones like that? And then, your phone got insurance on it. So if somebody snatches shit, you just shut it down. You call the child. If released, the feature could be especially useful in cities where phone snatching has become more common. What cities is that? Instead of relying on Find My Activation lock or manually locking the device after the fact, the iPhone could react instantly and lock itself before the thief has time to dig through sensitive information. Sensitive information, like I said, already requires like the facial identification feature. So Apple, can y'all please um Okay, let's see. A lot of Republicans don't have faith in black eyeliner bans. I hope not. I mean, I, I hope Republicans turn back into Republicans at some point. Because we on a whole high level of racial shit. We're not just on regular racism. We on a updated 2.0 version of racism. Apple new business plan helping folks cheat in peace. That's what I feel like it is. I think it should be called the cheat in peace feature, El Cid, and not whatever they calling it. What they calling it? Anti-theft? Yeah, let's call it cheat in peace, for God's sakes. And I think, like I said, we sat here and read a whole article about anti-theft. I don't know what cities this is becoming, rampant in. But according to these people, the folks is just running and snatching your phone. How? We don't go anywhere anymore. We work from home. We avoid the mall. We just have things delivered to the house. The drone will bring your whole outfit and, your new sofa, if that's what you ordered on Amazon. So, where are we engaging? What type of activities are we in? are we participating in that? People are just snatching phones. It should be called the cheat and peace feature. So yeah, don't snatch the phone, wait for him to sleep and then put the phone in his face. Duh. Yeah, why are we snatching it? Girl, there's so many other ways. The drone brings the food too. The drone brings whatever you need. So in a world where we don't even engage with each other, sadly enough, you know what I'm saying? We now are concerned about people snatching phones. Stop it. Remember when I said what kind of music do people listen to? You know what I'm saying? Before they go all crazy. I would really want to know, what was this man listening to before he went and tear the house down? He was not playing. He was not playing. Let me pause it for a second. So this one is wild, neighbors. A Pennsylvania man is facing charges after reacting to a divorce threat from his wife. According to authorities, 48-year-old Eric Pierce Scissor. Oh my God. They say our names is hard to say. What the hell is this name? Eric Pierce. I'm going to just say the W is silent. Was arrested after using an excavator to destroy the backside of his home while his wife and 2 children were inside. He said, F them kids. The incident happened after Pierce's wife allegedly told him she wanted a divorce after he came home from a night of drinking. He responded by saying, if it's over, I'll tear the house down. He was not playing. Well, he did exactly that. He climbed into the excavator and went to town while his family was still inside their home. My first question is, why is there an excavator on the backyard? Why is there an excavator in the backyard? Does everybody just have one of those? I don't live that much in the country, but I want to know, why does he have that? I feel like he was planning this. I feel like he knew. He said, if this woman threatened to divorce me, I'm going to tear the house down. And he was prepared for it. He was prepared. Ain't no way. Why does he have that in the background? He climbed into the excavator and went to town on the house, but the family was still inside the home. Moments later, he went inside to grab a gym bag and fled. So he just wanted to scare them. He gave them a chance to run out the front door, and he still had to get his stuff. So I'm supposing they should be glad his gym bag was not in the excavator. And he fled to where, Mr. Pierce? What? You live here. The folks already know who you are. Pierce's family was unharmed, but he later turned himself in and was charged with causing a catastrophe, disorderly conduct, and 3 counts of recklessly endangering another person. I guess he was like, I'm going to jail. Let's hear what the people said.
Arrived at the family's home after drinking all night and began arguing with her. When she told him the marriage was over, investigators say he responded with a chilling threat. If it's over, I'll tear the house down. Police say moments later, Pirza climbed into the excavator and began tearing into the house, while his wife and two daughters were still inside. The criminal complaint says dispatchers could hear yelling and the sound of the excavator during the 911 call. Investigators say after the destruction stopped, Pirza went back inside, grabbed a gym bag, and took off toward Fawn Township before eventually being taken into custody. Pierce's wife told police her husband arrived at the family's home after drinking all night and began arguing with her. When she told him the marriage was over, investigators say he responded with a chilling threat. If it's over, I'll tear the house down. Police say moments later, Pirza climbed into the excavator and began tearing into the house.
Wow. So much to unpack here. Uh, you said wife told him she was divorcing him. He came home drunk, allegedly. That's what they said. I want to know why he already got an excavator in the house. Maybe he was like, if I go to jail, fine, but you won't be living in this house comfortably. You're going to have to repair the whole backside. He took down his half of the house. That's what. Maybe. The people said you can't do that while the family's still inside. Good morning, High Vibe. You're not too late. You know, you always on time. Big ups. Topic. Amazon takes 30 days to stock new products in the warehouse. I found out the hard way. So we gonna say, yeah, we gonna blame it on Amazon, but she's talking about the black owned diaper company. But she's going national. So yeah, let's hopefully, hopefully she can get it in order. He took down his half of the house. The people said you can't do that with the family still inside. So I am just curious as to what the hell. Does anybody have an excavator in their backyard? Something that's big enough to tear the whole daggone house down? See what I'm saying? What was he listening to? What's on his playlist? Burning down the house. Boom. Dun, 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 dun. I'm guessing. I don't know. Tearing down the house. Housequake. You ready? I'm not ready. This is making me mad. I'm so tired of this. Um, I'm not sure why kids come up with some wild things, but I feel like these are some wild children, and nothing good can come from this. And it's happening everywhere. A 17-year-old was shot during a teen takeover in Clearwater Beach. Several people were detained Sunday evening after the shooting. In the aftermath of the maybe I should stop saying that. In the aftermath of the powwowing, Waylick said there were reports of hundreds of people who had gathered in other locations and were creating a disturbance. Teen takeovers are a growing social media trend during which large groups of mainly young people gather unannounced, overwhelming businesses and public spaces, but not something you would typically expect to see at Clearwater Beach. I don't think it matters. I see them running around over here. I'm scared to turn the sound on. Yeah, they be having music playing. So you can see this is right in the main area of Clearwater Beach. I know because I spend plenty of time there. Um, oh my God, it's like a little area where there's stores. You can walk to everything, food, restaurants. This is over by the pier, I believe, based on what I'm seeing. Y'all, these kids can get on the internet and organize some nonsense, but are they voting? What is happening out here looking for a reason with all the things, the injustice that's going on within the streets of the United States? And this is what y'all want to do. Now if they start having detaining camps for the teenagers, you know what I'm saying, for taking over, what y'all gonna do? Nothing? Sit on your hands? Because it seems like that's what's happening right now. The kids can't read. And now they running around. And if I took my grandchildren to the beach for, a weekend of relaxation, the kids just got out of school. So, and I'm not talking about these wild ass kids. I'm talking about families. The kids got out of school. The families will go down there and, spend the weekend. If you're coming from another country, then, this is what your impression of black folks is going to be. It's just so irritating. Piss me off. Imagine you go to the beach for a weekend, for a quiet little weekend. You got your children, and these wild ass children is out here pow powing and running around. And no, the restaurants don't want to deal with that. They do not want to. You are in here not tipping, being loud, and then you want to be somewhere on the internet talking about these people are discriminating, won't let us come to the beach. Now I can't go to the beach till this is, till the people are done with this, until it quiets down. I usually don't go to the beach during, peak seasons. I tend to go like September, October after the, tourism is done. I guess this is another reason for me to have a staycation. Ciao. You said you like Clearwater Beach. They need to go to work on a business plan. They need to learn how to damn read, El Cid. They need to learn how to read because the parents is not in control. And I saw somewhere, did I keep that? Yeah. So let's look at this because in Washington D.C. they not playing, and I'm not mad at them implementing this rule because you all the parents is the ones that sending these wild ass children out in the streets to disrupt the peace of people trying to enjoy a weekend away. Jeez, oh P. Um, Parents in Washington D.C. can now get 6 months in jail if their kids join a takeover. Ooh wee. Mm. I don't know what to tell y'all. My kids would not be participating in something like that. That much I do know. Washington D.C. officials are escalating their response to teen takeovers, with prosecutors now warning that parents could face criminal charges if they knowingly allow their children to take part in violent or disruptive gatherings. Why would you knowingly do that? Why would you tell your kid, yeah, go ahead and take over downtown? Don't get arrested. Don't get pow-powed. The U.S. Attorney, Jeanine Pirro, announced that her office will begin targeting adults under D.C.'s curfew law and D.C.'s code SS 22-811, which covers contributing to delinquency of a minor. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, adults who facilitate, enable, or knowingly permit minors to engage in delinquent acts can face criminal penalties of up to 6 months in jail. Prosecutors said charges could be pursued even if the minor is not separately prosecuted. The move comes as DC continues dealing with large youth gatherings that have overwhelmed neighborhoods, restaurants, and entertainment areas, particularly around Navy Yard. Some of these gatherings have been promoted through social media and have escalated into fights, property damage, and confrontations with the police. This is not good for all youth. And then we want to have, like the event over at Disney with the HBCUs. We want to have events that are focused on our culture. And then this is, what we got to deal with as a large scale of what the people are going to see, because we know how the media does. They're going to put this out. Pirro said her office will work with the Metropolitan Police Department to seek parental citations when a minor's curfew violation is connected to a takeover-related incident. Local reports said parents could also face fines and court-ordered classes, which they need anyway, depending on the circumstances. They should definitely get court-ordered classes. If your child is down here destroying property and all this nonsense, and carrying firearm, that's a whole nother situation. The police does not mean every parent will automatically be jailed if their child attends a takeover. Prosecutors would still have to show that the adult knowingly allowed, enabled, or failed to prevent the minor's delinquent conduct. Well, that's a waste of time. Just put them in jail. Whether, you know what I'm saying? Because they would have to prove to me, I think they should have to just prove that this kid is not in trouble, and there needs to be a whole line of things because this, that's virtually no punishment as far as I'm concerned. The who's gonna say they did it? Yeah, I told him he could go down there. The distinction is important because of the online version of the Calm DC parents can now get 6 months in jail if their kids join teen takeovers. It's broadly based on real policy, but it leaves out legal conditions needed for charges. The crackdown follows a series of high profile incidents involving groups of teenagers in public areas. CBS News reported that Piro threatened to bring charges against parents if their teens violate local curfew rules, saying their office was trying to curb the growing problem of whoop, of takeover style gatherings in the city. Like I said, I hate it. I hate every bit of it. Can they check if the parents are working while the child is out there? I think that's part of the investigation. You know what I'm saying? So they're saying that not every parent is going to be in trouble for this, but if your kid is delinquent and always like having truancy issues at school or always out past curfew, why do you need, like, unless your kid has a permit to go to work, and my kids worked, but I picked them up from work. So there was no, you know what I'm saying, leaving and going and running rampant around town. After work, you come home. And until they're grown and they can make their own decisions and I'm no longer responsible, but something has to be done because this isn't just affecting, that particular weekend. It's going to affect other legitimate gatherings, that families want to do. This is the type of thing that, creates this issue where, family reunions are happening and people want to complain about you not being permitted, allowed to be at the barbecue and all of that kind of nonsense. So this is not what we want. And it's the parents, y'all are the ones with these wild ass children out here doing takeovers. And if they can organize to that extent, then y'all can organize your ass to do something that makes sense. Jay-Z showed up on the stage this week with a new look. I do not care about Jay-Z's performance. For me, I feel like there's nothing that Jay-Z can say, you know what I'm saying, on a microphone that I care to hear. So there's that. But this isn't what this is about. Beyonce's hair care brand, what is it called? Secret? I don't know. Used to comb out Jay-Z's locks for Roots picnic. Stylists say the process took 4 days. So I guess, the people were like, is that a wig? Because how did he have dreads and now he's got an afro? He got a full head of hair. So there's that. I think it's called Sacred. I don't use it. I thought I was going to get an opportunity to use it. I had a client that says she uses it, but like I said, other things. Yeah, so the people were like, it's a wig, it's fake. It's not fake, but it is time consuming. So there was a lot of time, energy, and family support that went into Jay-Z's new look. The rapper shocked many by showing up with an afro for his Roots Picnic headline performance. Shortly after the concert went viral, a lock specialist who reportedly helped with Jay's switched up revealed on Threads that it took 4 days and 4 bottles of Beyonce's Sacred Detangling Spray to come out his locks. She needed 4 bottles, honey, maybe she should have tried a different product. Oh, Jay-Z came out showing his wife's hair products can work. I mean, it took 4 bottles, so do they really work? um, what'd you say? In other news, that video confirmed Puffy's unit is microscopic. Puffy does definitely have a unit. We haven't seen him like in a while since he's been locked up. Um, Jay-Z showing his locks at the Roots Festival. I didn't think think about it like that. Jay-Z showing his locks at the Roots Festival. That's hilarious. Um, I think a lot of people didn't think you could undo locks. I have done them. I have a client, a little boy. He's a biracial kid who can't decide what he wants to do, so he keeps on knotting his hair up, and I keep on wanting to strangle him. But yeah, I have delocked him, but I feel like it wasn't that hard because of his hair texture, and I did not use sacred, so maybe Jay Z should try something different. 4 days. I mean, he was very, very locked up. And he's got a kinky texture hair, so I'm not surprised in that. But she did the damn thing. Did she come stay at the house? People come out their locks all the time. I don't know why I thought that. Why I don't know that either, T. And you can tell when you look at the afro, it's boneless. Like my daughter likes to call my afro. It's boneless. It's very like fluffy on the end. So, and that's because when you detangle them, you got to cut through them a little bit. It definitely, like, it's not an easy process. Like the lady said, it took 4 days for her to undo it. Um, yeah, so it's light, but he still got a lot of hair though. He still got a lot of hair. I feel like, he didn't cut much of it, but he could probably take about 3 inches off of them, wifty ends that he got going on over there. You said you detangle your locks. Yeah, it's just time consuming, or how you take care of them. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I mean, I don't know that this says anything about Beyonce's products because it's 4 days. It took 4 days to get it done, and you know, did it take y'all 4 days for y'all to undo? High vibe. Did it take you 4 days to undo your locks? He was hooting and hollering after 4 days. He was writing them little bars he came up with in them 4 days. While he was sitting there getting his hair untangled, he sat down with a pen and a paper and he decided he was going to cuss out other people, that he's mad at. Jay-Z, like I said, ain't nothing he could have said on that microphone that would have, changed my mind. So I'm glad he brought the afro because it gave us something to talk about. A few hours. Probably because your hairstylist was not using sacred. So if this was an ad for, Beyonce's product, it doesn't take me 4 days to undo my client either. I give it a little cut, you know what I'm saying, and I start unraveling them things. It's possible. So, like I said, depending on how they got put in there, I suppose. So this is an interesting story that nobody's talking about. Real quiet on the front. J Lo. Let's see here. Jennifer Lopez, family milestone. This is interesting how they're putting it. Jennifer Lopez's family milestone has sparked conversation after a graduation related post appeared to reveal that a new chapter for her 18-year-old child. The entertainer's child, formerly known publicly as Emmy Muniz, was identified as Oscar Jacob Muniz in a college decision post from Winter School's senior focused Instagram account. The post, which tagged a private profile using him/her identifiers, announced that Oscar plans to attend Sarah Lawrence College in the fall and study theater and studio arts. Oscar to Sarah Lawrence, the caption read, "No more impromptu NYC's trip because he'll be living there. Good thing it's only a few hours away from stage door. Go Gray Phones. Congrats." Lopez has not publicly addressed the reported name change. However, she recently opened up about the emotional side of watching her twins prepare for college. During an appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live, the singer and actress joked, "Don't talk about it because I'll start crying," before sharing that she had been crying for 2 months. Lopez shares Oscar and twin brother Max with ex-husband Mark Anthony. The graduation ceremony was also attended by Lopez's mother, Guadalupe Rodriguez, and Samuel Affleck. I guess that's one of Ben Affleck's kids. Huh. So you said we knew this was coming, did we? I hadn't been paying attention. This feels like a sacrifice. Oh no. Say more, high vibe. I don't know. I did not see this coming. I didn't know anything about it. Don't you have to formally, like, did she legally get her name changed? To register in college, she has to use her birth given name unless she legally changes it. So, as far as J Lo, though, I feel like this wasn't her conversation to have. Whatever's happening over here, I feel like J Lo and Mark Anthony both had to let this. It says him, so that's the pronoun I'm guessing that was used. But it's important that we let this child decide on their own. I'm gonna say they, just to stay out of trouble. I'm gonna just say they. Um, yeah, you gotta let a person come to this conclusion on their own. So as far as J Lo is concerned, if I were to put my self in her shoes, obviously you love your child, and she's been in this, growing with this child. So there may be something that that's not a shock to her. She's talking about her kids going to college, so this is something that we're just now finding out. But she absolutely had to let this child, decide on her own how she was going to navigate, through this transition, if that's what it is, because this article is very vague. But to change her name from Emmy to Oscar, it's very telling. Um, uh, I'm guessing a high vibe. We're being told this because the announcement was made on a public platform. So this was, the big announcement that they decided to, let the world know. Obviously, being a child of J Lo and Mark Anthony, you can't keep it a secret. You can't live your life like, what I'm saying, behind a wall that most of us have. It's gonna come out when they go to school. They graduated. Looks like Emmy already in the process of transitioning into whatever it is, because we don't know. Like, I thought this was obvious. She'd always presented as a male. I I didn't pay attention. Y'all are saying that now. I'm gonna have to go back. Last time I seen the little girl, she was just singing at the daggone Super Bowl or something. But the expectation will be for J Lo to say something, and I think, what is there for her to say? If I were in her shoes, I feel like I would be mourning the loss of a daughter in a way. But she knows this kid. This is not something that just happened overnight. J Lo has been dealing with this um, transition in her child for as long as, we don't know how long. Um, you said if Jennifer was hush about it, Oscar could have been incognito at school, but then feeling not celebrated though at the same time. Like, it's kind of like, so I gotta go and live my life incognito because my parents can't be proud out loud of me. And then like I said, everybody gonna be like, what happened to J Lo's daughter? Where did she go? So it wasn't like she could hide it. I'm happy this young lady, um well, young person, has freed themselves from secrecy. It has to be super duper hard to be the child of a celebrity, that's for sure, because you don't get to live your life in secret. The eyes is always on you. God forbid Blue Ivy or Northwest do something. As far as I'm concerned, Northwest is kind of masculine presenting too. So, we don't know. She's giving young MA energy, that Northwest. You said I'm confused. She wasn't hiding. Who wasn't hiding? The little girl. Like I said, I don't know. I haven't seen her since she was performing, songs, singing with her mama or what have you. But she's changed her name, so that's an official start. I'm guessing if you got your name on college paperwork, then you are officially no longer Emmy. Let's get into The Jackson family. The Jackson they just be in the news lately. They could go ahead and thank Michael for that too, child, because oh, the Jacksons. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. Anyway, Janet was out here. She wants to make some things clear. She put out a open letter, a public announcement. I don't know why, because I don't look to Janet for any type of political anything, but she put out a note. It says, if there are any Trump supporters who still follow me, I would I would ask that you unfollow me and do it now. I don't want anyone who supports this malignant, racist, corrupt man and his sycophants to lurk in my to lurk in her what? To lurk in my feed. I'm so sick of being used and taken advantage of by a narcissist clown. I choose love always. How was she being used? I'm confused. Who was she? She was being used by the administration. Um, Janet, I guess, girl, you said she was been out front as a male for years. I did not know that. Janet, why do you feel like you need to make this announcement? The last time you came through, you was over here talking about you didn't know that Kamala, and she's not even black. That's what we heard you saying before. Now you want to come over here and tell the Trump supporters get out your news feed, girl. I guess is that her? Is that her contribution to the revolution? Because I need more, Janet. You was over here part of the Rhythm Nation. Now you over here talking about Trump supporters get on my news feed. I love you, Janet, but I don't know about this one. I've heard you say, huh? That's what I said. Listen, I'm just here to report the news. And the lady says she would like for y'all to unfollow her right now. She don't need y'all over there. She's always been about love. And I think she took a shot at her ex, being used by a narcissist, because they was over there getting real ghetto down to the apartment in London. I think it was, with the babysitter saying, I gotta go, to calling the cops and the stuff. That was real ghetto over there, Janet. Now she wanna come over here, and I can hear her talking in her soft voice saying, I don't want any of this. If you're following me and you're a MAGA supporter, I want you to leave immediately. Get the stepping. Okay, Janet, I suppose. In other Jackson news, child, I don't know who asked for this. Let me see before I switch over. Janet had to clean it up because her man is the son of Luke. Oh, that's right. She over there. Janet is another one. She will go ahead and find a man to control her life. I mean, from the gate. And she was raised, what was their Jehovah's Witness? She was raised Jehovah's Witness. She's had cult like mentality for a really long time. Janet, go back to celebrating your 60th birthday. Yeah, we don't want you over here in politics. Just run down to the polls, girl. Are you even a US citizen? Because you be moving around. Is this the same Janet Jackson that was lukewarm about that? I said that, Pac. I said she was over there like is she black? Girl, are you? We can't tell anymore. So yeah, in other Jackson's news, these people will try to milk whatever Michael's doing to save their soul. Now I haven't seen the movie yet. I'm, on the fence about whether I even feel like, because I want to go see Is God Is. If y'all have y'all seen that, I want to go see something I want to watch. But I have been on the Michael Jackson train. Like, I've been listening to Michael's music and reminiscing on the times we had back in the day. But I didn't ask for this. Did y'all ask for this? We did not ask for 3 Tito's and a Marlon. Those boys. So they doing Jackson. Where is they at on this little stage? These 3 light skinned Tito's that child. Would y'all pay to go see that? This place is full. I don't know where they are, but it's a dive bar, looks like, because the stage only got 2 steps on it. So every Jackson everywhere wants to come. These men are fat and 40. They're not even taking good care of themselves. Why are they doing this? You think they're about to get married? You think who about to get married? Oh, Janet and the Farrakhan son? I guess, child. That's what she does, child. Yeah, so nobody wants this. Nobody wants any of the 3 fat Cheetos, and nobody wants a Marlon either. So Marlon and them was over here. Y'all, Jackie fine. And isn't he the oldest? The oldest Jackie's still fine. He over here. I'll give you a little bit of it. Bam. Want to be starting something? You got to be starting something. This geriatric man over here, singing Michael Jackson records, and bam, hit the floor. I was confused. Like y'all are not the 3 Tito's. Y'all are actually the Jacksons. So why not perform Jackson music? I'm not understanding why they were performing Michael Jackson music. She said, "Oh dear." Oh. They said this is our time. The whole family wants in. We want them out. We don't want this. This is not what we want at all. And I'm not okay. The 3 Tito's, we definitely don't want that. They had a record back in the day. They was light skinned with pretty eyebrows, and I was past that age, and so looking like Albie Shores. Oh, this ain't in America. That little bitty stage they was on, or the Jackson Fives, the Jackson Fives performing. I wouldn't have a problem with the Jackson Fives performing Jackson Fives music, but he over here want to be starting something. You cannot do that. And then they trying to do Michael's moves, and bam, hit the floor. I'm sorry, I keep on watching that. Um, it is what it is, child. Wonder was that his last performance? I saw just recently a clip because Michael Jackson was kind of an asshole back in the day when they had the Jackson Fives variety show, and I saw a clip of Michael introducing the brothers, and he's like, "This is Jermaine, this is Jackie, this is Randy," and he got to Marlon, and he's like, "This is Fred." And they're like, "Who's Fred?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, Marlon." I'm like, "Ah, Fred. This is why he called you Fred, because you can't perform, and Darren sure can't perform. Michael Jackson records. We don't want any of that. I don't want any more Tito's. I don't want no what's the name, Reebies. I don't want any of that. Like, let's just watch the Michael Jackson movie. I think that other one is out on Netflix, y'all. If it's not out yet, it's about to be, because I've seen the promotion of it. So prepare to be, prepare to be angry. People will be fussing. I have Netflix, and I'm probably going to watch it. So there's that. We gonna end right here. Can y'all please watch your damn kids? Like, with everything that's going on in this world, yes, Marlon fell. Marlon fell hard. Looked like there was a chord or something in there. He said, "Reach your hands up high and sing out to the world." Bam! And he hit the floor. So, maybe that's the end of the tour. Or maybe they can replace Marlon with, the Tito in the middle, not the 2 Tito's on the end. We don't want those two. So bring the Tito in the middle over here. I don't know any of their names, and let him, fill in where Marlon can't perform. And y'all stop singing Michael Jackson records. Sing Jackson 5 records. So with everything that's going on in the world, y'all are still not watching your kids, and I find that baffling. I see the kids on their way to school by themselves, but at least at school, you know what I'm saying? They're out together at the same time. But this is some random thing. So this lady just stopped at a gas station and apparently let her baby go in there to use the bathroom.
One of y'all gonna come in. The little girl with y'all, right? The little girl with y'all. One of y'all want to come in. I mean, it's a lot of people in here. It's strange. Yeah, I'm just saying that somebody should be in here with her. She went to use the restroom, right? Yeah, I'm just saying for her safety, y'all safety, somebody should be in here with her. That's all I'm saying.
They got music, so I have to.
Bathrooms all the way in the back. That's what I'm saying. Accompany her. That's all.
God bless him. So it's bad when the daggone cashier down to the gas station got to come outside and tell the mama, "Is you finna let this little girl go in here by yourself?" I wonder if Marlon or the floor had the worst bruises. I don't know. He tore that thing up, didn't he? Um, you said why he got to convince them. Isn't that wild? Why does he have to convince them to come protect her? And we just saw a story of the kid that wanted to use the bathroom, and then the man made him pee outside and take a picture of it. He came outside, like clearly he knows the type of characters. I mean, I feel like we all do know the type of characters that come in convenience stores and how weirdos be lurking around looking for somebody to leave their kid unattended. He came out there and she's like, "What? What are you talking about?" Embarrassing. You said my new neighbors let their little daughter, who's about 8 or 9, come knocking on my door asking for her ball. I don't know her parents. She looks so scared. I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have sent my kid to the neighbor's house. Yeah, that's weird. I know when my son, I brought my son in the ladies' room with me. I'm sorry. And then when he was old enough, like when he started getting too big to go in the ladies' room, then I would go stand outside the door of the men's room. And I'm like, if anybody says anything to you, you scream. I'm standing right here. They sent their daughter into the convenience store, and like I said, this man knows the environment in there. He's like, y'all are just gonna leave her. I don't know how young this kid was, but little enough for him to be concerned that he needed to go say, "Hey, this little girl's in this store by herself." You know what I'm saying? And she probably was uncomfortable too. So everybody don't need to be no daggone kids or have kids. That's it, y'all. Yeah, we here. We trying to do things a little different. I'm trying to keep y'all engaged. So yeah, I'm back. I'm back here. I'm gonna comb my hair, wash my face, brush my teeth, and I'm gonna show up here and we're gonna talk about the things. He's saying don't trust a mofo in here. Yes, yes, but I feel like Elsie, it's a convenience store. Why would you? What are you doing? Are you one of them? Did your other kids down to the takeover? This is the kind of parenting we over here talking about. Walk the little girl in the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? I probably wouldn't have stopped at a convenience store. When my kids were at that I have to pee stage while you're driving, I would always like choose the McDonald's. And I still wouldn't send them in there. I just would choose the McDonald's because I feel like the bathrooms are likely to be more clean than a convenience store. My son still goes in the ladies' rooms with me unless he's with his dad. Yeah. Well, T, we cut from the same cloth. And yeah, I wasn't about to send my baby in no bathroom by himself. So yeah, he would come in the ladies' room with me, say something. I dare you to say something. Because until he's too old to come in here, it's not gonna be a thing. And like I said, when I did start letting him go to the men's room, I stood by the door. Ben would come out the bathroom looking at me crazy, and I'm looking at them like, yeah, my son's in there. And if he needs me, I need to be right here. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, look out for your kids. Look out for the cords and things in your house when you're around there vacuuming the house on a Saturday morning and you got Michael Jackson playing. Please be careful because, the people is out here hurting themselves. Y'all, like the video, subscribe to my channel. I will be back tomorrow at 10:15. Hopefully you will be here too. In the meantime, I'm going to leave y'all with a little something, something, you know, to enjoy. Until next time. Bye, y'all. y'all? It's your girl Rhonda.
Hey everybody, welcome to my channel.
Hey y'all, I'm back. It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. What's up, y'all? It's